Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley.
Present.
Isaac Chavez.
Present.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Present.
John Large is absent. Robert Stevens.
Present.
Clarence Worthen.
Present.
Eric Woods.
Present.
Okay, were there any public comments? Did you see anything?
There were not.
Okay. Next, we have ordinance number 25-11, and this is an ordinance that is going to change the Unified Development Ordinance. So if you want it read by, I just ask Alicia, if you want to read it by title only, we can, or we can just approve it.
Yeah, because it's a Unified Development Ordinance amendment that goes through the City Plan Commission first, so it's already had a public hearing and gone through that. That counts as kind of the first reading on that. So your job tonight is you can either approve it, you can deny it, or you can take no action on it. And then if you take no action in 90 days, it will become effective.
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2511.
I'll second.
Okay, would you like for Don to speak at this time?
Yeah,
Give me a hint.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with what we're doing. We've had a lot.
2511 is the lot number 78 in Coulter Sims Edition, commonly known as 1252 South 2nd Street.
Oh, okay.
Or you can look at my copy if you'd like.
So on that property, the Plan Commission changed the zoning process there. Is that what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
rezone.
Yeah.
it went from B residential
went from-
to C
From
residential.
B to C residential. The owners wanted to put a duplex in there. I can tell you that at the beginning of this project, I was against it because it was a duplex that was coming into an area of single-family dwellings. And I'm not going to get into spot zoning, but once Tony Del Real's property came up and got to be very active in the fact that he's putting in a series of duplexes, and this property was a stone's throw away, it didn't make any sense to not try to support that and then support Tony's at the same time. So we changed the philosophy on it. We took it to the Plan Commission and it passed. There is one property there that is multifamily. It's on the backside on Columbia Street, but the rest were single-family dwellings. The individual's owners, a former Frankfurt person, gave an example of what she plans to build there. It's going to be a very, very attractive duplex in that process if the council will accept the rezone of that property from B residential to C residential. So why didn't I go to the BZA? I didn't go to the BZA because I was concerned that the BZA has been very, very strict in their processes over the last couple of months, rightfully so. And I didn't think it stood any opportunity to move forward. And it's based on the fact that in the Unified Development Ordinance, when you're in a B residential area, everything in an acre of ground can only have 6 living units. So the BZA has gotten to be kind of so strict that now becomes a policy that I can't get by. I mean, by putting a duplex in, you're going to add another living unit to an acre of property, and it'll put it over the top of 6, maybe make it 7 or 8, and then the BZA doesn't pass it. So that's why I went to the Plan Commission to rezone the lot to get the duplex put in place, and the Plan Commission so did so.
Dawn, are we talking about this little triangle down here?
We are not. 1252. We are. I just gave a speech on something that you've probably already taken care of. Okay, let's do that. I apologize for
So,
that.
Don, just to clarify, what you were just speaking about was the one that we did talk about last
Last
meeting.
Last time.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is a different property
I
that is changing
apologize.
from B residential to C residential. Is that
Right.
correct?
So the applicant for this is
Okay.
Caleb Del Real on behalf of Tad Rentals, 4208 West County Road, 650 North in Mulberry, Indiana. We're asking you to rezone 1252 South 2nd Street. I should have gone home and had lunch. I blew my mind all up. 2nd Street from B residential to C residential for multifamily living. This property and most of the surrounding properties are Zone B residential district, and that's even before the Unified Development Ordinance was adopted. The site characteristics of this lot is lot number 78 in the Coulter Sims 3rd edition to the city of Frankfort, Indiana. It's the same as recorded in Plot 2, Old Page 58, Center Township, Clinton County, Indiana, or more commonly known as 1252 South 2nd Street. So the rezoning criteria is there are 5 criteria in which the City Plan Commission and you as a city council members should pay reasonably regard to in the evaluation of a rezoning request as specified in Section 20101C of the Unified Development Ordinance. This petition is evaluated in accordance with the below criteria. The first criteria is that the most recently adopted comprehensive plan. This rezone of B residential to C residential is referenced generally on page 19, neighborhoods, of the 2035 comprehensive plan under housing. Neighborhoods are the backbone of community living and pride and provide residents with a special sense of place. Public-private partnerships and community outreach are encouraged around the residential neighborhoods. The second criteria is that the current condition and the character of structure and uses in each district. The current condition is farmland and the old Monon Railroad to the west and south, B residentials to the north and east, and Blue Ridge and Green Meadow are to the south. To the east and north are single-family homes. The third criteria is the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted. This property was zoned B residential before the new zoning map. The city just completed a housing study which calls for all housing from multifamily to single-family to affordable housing. 4, the fourth criteria is the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction. With farmland to the west and Tony's duplex subdivision to the south, more housing that could be a mixed use could be developed. This will be added value to the already existing housing in that place. The fifth and final criteria is the responsible development and growth. As mentioned above, the city just completed a housing study calling for all different housing groups, multifamily, single family, large apartments, affordable housing. And with the elementary school to the south of this property, more housing development is needed. So we recommend, this staff recommends that you look at the rezoning and please rezone it from B residential to C residential. I'm open to any questions. And Shan is here, and so is Mr. Kaiser. Mr. Kaiser is the gentleman who's developing the subdivision, in case you have any questions as we move forward.
Does anybody have anything? Okay.
Does that lot have enough square footage and for off-street
It's a
parking?
great question, and
the
the
whole
answer
9
is
yards?
it is. I've been out there. The duplex isn't going to be 2 different buildings. It's going to be one building built 2-story high, and it's also now required to have 2 off-street parking for every apartment. All of that is doable on this property. There's a lot of discussion on whether or not, you know, Tony's trying to keep, on the apex of the triangle, there is a garage that was turned into an apartment. It's the only thing that's on that property right now, and he's trying to figure out how to keep that. That's going to be a great challenge in the future that we'll discuss as they get ready to start the development of that lot. But he can't have both on the same lot. You can only have one principal building on a lot here in town. We've had that discussion, but we're also kicking around the can on the ability to try to keep that plus adding the duplex. I think it's going to be a really very difficult task to do, but Tony and I will sit down and we'll have that conversation as we move along.
Okay, is everybody okay on that? We have a first and a second, so are we ready for roll call? Wanna do a roll call?
Ready? Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have ordinance number 25-12. Here again, we have an ordinance that's going to be amending the Unified Development Ordinance of the City of Frankfort.
Once again, the applicant is Caleb Dale Real on behalf of Tad Rental, 4208 West County Road 650 North in Mulberry, Indiana. The initial rezoning of, and I'm giving it a parcel number because it has no address right now, of 1210-15207-002- or .000-021. It's vacant land on South 2nd Street from agricultural to C residential for multifamily living. This property is currently zoned agricultural, and the request and the site characteristics that you have is a very small site characteristic because there's several lots that make up the site of this project. I just put down a very small section of it, which is part of the northwest half section 15, Township 21 North Range IW, 2nd Principal Meridian in Center Township, Clinton County, Indiana. Once again, there are 5 criterias. As I mentioned before, we'll just go through the criteria again, and that is 1, the most recently adopted comprehensive plan. In 2035, the comprehensive plan reads as follows: Part 3, community living, limit future multifamily uses and eliminate existing illegal conversions. This can be accomplished through downzoning most of the city residential areas for primary single-family use and stopping future conversions. Any two-family or multifamily structure shall obtain approval from either the Plan Commission through rezoning or the Board of Zoning Appeals through special exception. Illegal conversions shall be eliminated each year from 2016 to 2021. That's what's in the comprehensive plan, and the reason I put that in is we're talking about the development of a subdivision, and I totally am not for any of that. As I've mentioned, we have done a study, a housing study that calls for everything that Tony's looking at doing in the future, and but that's not in the comprehensive plan. 2, current conditions as the character of structure and uses in each district. The parcel ID 1210-15-207-002-000-021 is a vacant lot. There is a multifamily home located at 253 and 255 White Street, a farm to the north, and along with single-family residence. 3, the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adopted. The property was B residential prior to the new zoning map because the city didn't have agricultural zoning district. The 2035 comprehensive plan talks about downzoning for primary single-family uses. The city just completed a housing study which calls for all housing, including multifamily, single-family, and affordable housing. The 4th criteria is the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction. This property is surrounded by an elementary school, multifamily, a farm, and single-family residence. The responsible development and growth, as mentioned, again, the city has just completed a housing study calling for all different housing groups, multifamily, single-family, large apartments, and affordable housing. The staff recommends that you rezone this from agricultural to C residential. But let's first talk about all the things that are going on in this subdivision. You're looking at the big drawing that you have is that right now, only 5 duplexes is what's in the city limits. The rest will be out into the county. And so the rezoning is only for the rezoning of those 5 duplexes. and that would be 5 buildings. That would be 10 housing units.
And it's- tell them,
the
Don,
rest is out in the county.
It's 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23
Yeah,
on the
so
map.
21, 22, 23, and, 19 and 20. Those are the ones that are in the city. That's the area that we are rezoning.
Do you have any questions?
Now, would we hold on annexing this, the rest of this, at any time if it was brought up until the infrastructure is in, so it wouldn't be on our cost?
Can I answer that? And really, even if you didn't, if you went ahead and annexed it, being the fact that it's a subdivision, you would not have any cost. That's up to the subdivider to supply all of the
Okay.
material
Make
inside.
sure of that.
Yep. They just supply the taps.
Mayor, I think we should probably have the
Yep.
Yes,
developer come up.
yes. Would you like to come up and talk with us, please?
Good evening. My name is Barry Kiesel. I'm with Trico Development Company. I'm here to answer any questions you might have on the proposed development.
Well, branching off of what Counselor Stevens said, clearly your intent is to annex the entire property as time goes on, as you go from phase to phase, right?
Yes, in talking with the owner, that is the overall plan, is to annex the entire project into the city limits.
Okay. Because, you know, we owe it to you guys to let you know that we are, by general convention, we ask for an annexation waiver for hooking up to the utilities. So, you know, for public consumption, we just want to make sure that is well known.
Okay. Any additional questions? Would you like any
Anything
color
else?
on the project? Okay. What you're looking at there, I'll call it the peninsula piece, is the the duplex. That will be funded through a tax credit that we're currently applying for. The rest of it will be market rate housing as laid out. Obviously, we'll have to go through the normal building permitting processes within the community. We have spoken both to the city side of this. We've also spoken to county planning. They've kind of given their thumbs up with, obviously, further details as we move along.
Does anybody else have anything?
I'm ready to make a motion.
You're ready to? No other questions? Alicia, do you have anything else for us?
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2512 as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 25-12 passes. Does anybody have anything else? If you don't,
I make a motion to adjourn.
oh, wait, can I say something first? Not that quick. We passed out some information. This is what we received from Reedy. The one we just received today, and the other one, I think that Carol put in your package, is that correct? The lit, and then the property tax effects of the SB1.
One of them you have twice. It was in your packet, and then I didn't realize it was the exact same one,
So
so you have these two.
Even though it's one page, it's kind of a complicated situation. What I would like to do is have Reedy come back in July and talk to us before we ever meet for budgets in August. I'm afraid that'd be a lot to take in right before we would decide to go into the budget. So unless anybody opposes to that, that would be my preference. There's a
Great
lot
idea.
to this. Doesn't look like a lot, it's one page, but if everyone's okay with that?
You talking about both of these?
Yes. There's a lot. It looks like it's really simple, but it's not. There's a lot, and they can give you more of an in-depth on that. Carol and I sat with them today, and I felt like it was pretty, yeah.
There's a lot,
A lot.
and still a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns is a scary thing about it, I think, so. Okay,
Motion still stands.
okay. Have a second? That was Beardsley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have things that need signed before you leave, please. Where it says I'll sign them.
Okay, I was, huh?
It was longer than 7 minutes.
Yeah, I know. 21. Yeah. I was so, it was so complicated. Like at first, I'm like, what? And then.
Sitting there and I'm like, wait a second.
How you doing?
I know,
Besides your stiff neck.
I'm looking at the.
My head hurts so bad.
that's different.
My head. You ever try one of those inversion tables?
Yeah.
I swear by that.